Greetings. It's Tuesday, the 23rd of April. The check-in is brought to you by, oh my God, Manscaped. Listen up, guys. You don't have to have kids, but you do have to take care of your little boys between the belt, okay? Luckily, Manscaped has what you need. They're ready to take your nuts from the unruly to nice and fucking smooth with the Lawnmower 3.0 Plus, the 4.0, and the 5.0 Ultra. Listen, I love them all. Choose your trimmer, get grooming. Each version comes with skin-safe technology and LED spotlight in case you want to shave your balls at night in the dark. Unique features for different grooming needs. Find a trimmer that's right for you and go to town. Let me tell you something. Every time I shave my nuts, I lose 10 pounds. That's how much of an afro I got down there. You got to upgrade your ball trimmer and take care of them for life, guys. They're your balls. If you're not going to take care of them now, they're going to spit in your face when you get older. That's why I always Manscape. I put the cream. I do everything. Hey, it's Passover. What do you want from me? Do yourself a favor. Get 20% off and free shipping with code Joey at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping by pressing in code Joey. It's very easy at manscaped.com. Listen, for the best your boys have ever looked, trust Manscaped. I don't even know why they write boys. Balls. We like the word balls. If you use boys or tentacles or anything like that, you got a different set of people. So do yourself a favor, support the show, and get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com, code Joey. The check-in is also brought to you by, now that your balls are clean, you got Blue Chew. Listen, you'll get used to it in a flash, but now things are starting to slow down. Turn back the clock with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online service that sends you ED meds right to your door. No stories, no nothing. They got the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. And it's a total win all around for everybody. Your dick will be harder, and you'll be saving money. Who's better than you, okay? Blue Chew is tremendous. You can put it in your wallet, and when you find the victim when the pigeon's on the lake, boom! You pop that thing, and within minutes, you're jumping up and down. You understand me? And getting started is easy. If life is a party, you follow me? And you're going to show up without Blue Chew, what are you doing to yourself? It's Tuesday. Get the party started right. The summer's coming. You want to impregnate. You want to do things. You know what I'm saying? So do yourself a favor. Just sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, your prescription will be at your doorstep. Tip-top magoo. Even the mailman will be laughing when he delivers it. Listen, Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at bluechew.com. You know how we call it. Chew it and do it, Jack. And we got a special deal for Passover. Ready for this? Try Blue Chew for free. When you press in code Diaz at checkout, just pay a fin for shipping. That's $5 for shipping. That's bluechew.com. Promo code Diaz to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the show. Listen, support the show. Try Blue Chew for the small $5 just for shipping. You're gonna get the party for free. And now, without further ado, let's get this party started. Where's little Syatt at?
Turn off your TVs, run for your lives. It's over. They didn't put you on this planet just to give up. If Uncle Joey could do it, I could rule the world. That's what you got to be thinking. Welcome back to Syatt!
What's up, dog?
It's good to see you, buddy.
Passover with all the Jews in the struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's the worst.
Tuesday, the 23rd, I think. It's a beautiful day to be alive. What's happening, brother, man?
Passover, and we got into not a fight, but an argument with Action Bronson when he came on. Because it's the Passover, like Jews can make good food, but Passover is like, it feels like a punishment when you're a kid. Passover is
brutal.
Oh,
you might as well be in Papillon, and they put you in the desert. And might as well eat a roach than eat that fucking Jew food on Passover.
Oh, that
it won't even give you heartburn. That's how bad it is. It's very bland. It won't even give you heartburn. You won't fart. You won't even know one in your system. It's like fucking, it's like California roll. You don't even know it's in there. It just goes in there and it disappears.
Oh, have you tried gefilte fish? Have you ever had that?
Yeah, when I was younger.
You did? It's like hot dog fish, basically.
I think the Jews just eat peasant shrimp. Like I don't know if they have fucking like sushi. I don't know what was going on in fucking Jewville. I don't know if they didn't have fucking, albacore. They hit you with these fucking nasty fishes that you got to dope up. I mean, white fish I love. I don't mind the white fish with the mayo and all that shit, the cream. That's
right.
Not bad. I love the salmon. I like salmon from all directions. I like the bagel. I like the pale Jews who make it. But that shit, I don't think they give you brisket on Passover. There's no brisket.
My mom makes brisket. My mom, that's the one rule I have for her for almost every holiday is brisket.
Yeah, you're going to show up with crackers and Slim Fast shakes. I don't need that shit. Remember Slim Fast? You drink it, you wouldn't fart. Fucking you'd fart, but it was like this invisible fog. Like you'd go to reach to see how the Slim Fast is working. And there's no odor to the Slim Fast fart. Why drink a milkshake if you ain't going to get a little fucking... Let me tell you something. Our struggle with edibles. We don't have to lie to nobody. We threw it down. I'm saying, like, people like, he didn't do it. Yeah, shut the fuck up. People had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. So,
no.
Especially edible wise. Like, because, we ate 2,000 when we got to the show, but what did I eat before that? When I got here, I was shaking like a fucking, So it's funny, honest to God, I've been very, very good. And it's like, I learned to sleep without the edibles. I learned to do a lot of stuff without the edibles, which is very sad because I wouldn't fucking go to sleep unless I took edibles at night. That was part of it. And I gave it a break, 3 years. I mean, I cut back way. And then there was a point there where I started eating them again. I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm eating fucking 8 of these things, And I just said, fuck it. And then we started doing a podcast. And I said, let's do them on Mondays. Now, I've been dilly-dallying with them. Like last Monday, I think I did 100. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been just on the 400.
You've been taking it light.
And Thursday, I was about to fly. Now, since the pandemic, I haven't gotten lit up on a plane. Not even smoking weed before plane. It's hysterical. Today, as I was leaving Austin, I had a joint in my pocket. I left it right on the trash at the airport. Somebody comes in, the Pink Panther was there. So I always leave little joints and roaches at places and then see how they react. People react to them and stuff. Like, you never know. So Thursday I was leaving and I fucking go, you know what? It's 420 weekend. And I fucked up because I didn't bring the ABXs with me. I just grabbed 800 milligrams, like 4 of them. And
that's one day. That's only enough for a day.
Now, I didn't know, whatever. So I get to the airport. I'm a little scared of taking them. It's been the first time on a plane in fucking 4 years. So Ari's in Newark Airport and he meets me and I go, listen, Ari, I got to go grab a burrito, something to put in my stomach before I eat these edibles. So I went and grabbed the burrito. It was a fucking Arab guy with the turban. I'm like, I'm not even going to eat this thing. It's going to be terrible. I don't even know what I'm getting. As soon as I saw the turban, he's selling Mexican food. I'm like, where'd I go wrong? Where the fuck did we go wrong? I mean, people just say, but I tell you, I bit into the burrito because he had gloves on at least. If he had no gloves on, I would have just thrown it away. But he had gloves on and fucking, I took a bite out of it. Lee, it was the best braised beef burrito I ever had in my life. I had to eat my words. And I knew there was lamb in there, he's in there putting in fake lamb or some shit. I ate the whole fucking thing. And then I sat there and I was only going to eat 400 milligrams. And I said, fuck it, let's go for broke. So I popped fucking 600. And then I didn't feel nothing, so I popped the fourth one, right? By the time the little lunch came, I was fucked up. And I was watching that show, I don't know what it's fucking called, Gentlemen. on Netflix. It's fucking tremendous show. But this Chinese guy grows weed, and there's an English guy, and it's just a fucking interesting show. But after 2 episodes, I just couldn't fucking take it no more. But I had to head back and shit. When that little lady came up and she was like, "This vest," I didn't know what she was talking about. You know, like when they show you the vest in the beginning with the blinking lights and the whistle in the air. I'm like, what is this shit?
Wait, here, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Because they do the vest at the beginning of the flight.
I was already fucked up.
I know, but you said you waited and didn't feel anything. How long did you give the first 6 minutes?
20 minutes, 25 minutes. We got shit to do and people to see it. I had a movie to watch. You know what I'm saying? I got episodes. I got a Hulu.
So you didn't really give it any. Oh my God. And then
that was so high, I couldn't figure out the fucking email. I couldn't figure out how to go from computer to fucking, airplane mode. And I kept getting, I'm not the sharpest mode. Now I got fucking a batch of THC juice in my bloodstream, and I can't figure it out. That took about 20 minutes. But the clinker of the night was when that bitch brought 3 pieces of cheese and 2 crackers. That fucked me up. I'm like, who does this to somebody? This is like Jewish. That's what the Jews do. They give you 3 pieces of cheese and 2 crackers. Now, when you're sober, you just eat the fucking thing. But when you're high, you're like, why would somebody short me on a fucking cracker? You know what I'm saying? And now you're like, how am I going to eat the cheese? Because they give you those 2 pieces of white cheese. You don't know what they are. But then they give you that dead yellow cheese that's fucking old. But whatever, cheddar, Colby. And you definitely need a cracker for that fucking thing.
You need a cracker?
I just broke the cracker in half. I did some algebra, and I was happy the rest of the fucking flight. That's it. And I got to Boston at 8, and I was fucked up, Lee. And I got to my room, and I was taking a shower, and in the shower, I'm like, I am fucked up.
Really?
And then I went to Red Band's room, the Sunset Strip, because there was nobody at the mothership. And I was high till I got home. After I got off stage, the edible settled down a little bit, and I ordered like fucking 10 tacos. They were tremendous. Fucking bean and cheese tacos, Lee. Oh my God. Took me right back to the fucking office. Yeah, steak tacos. Then Friday night at the mothership, fucking whatever, brought in barbecue, Terry Black.
Oh, nice. That's
a thing of brisket, a thing of turkey, and a thing of fucking sausage. I didn't touch the sausage. The turkey was to die for. I wish I could have brought the tray with me. And I had some brisket. The brisket was so good and so thick. The next morning, Saturday morning, I got up and I had breakfast and I went for my morning walk and I smoked the number and I had to run back to the hotel because I had to take a shit, right? So I sit on this toilet. I know it's going to be deadly. So I don't even go into my room. I go right in the whole lobby. There's those nice bathrooms. And this is a great hotel. And the Moon Tower Comedy Festival was there, right? So I don't even know it's the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. I get there, I see Mark Maron, I see Brad Williams, I saw Roy Wood and Rachel Feinstein. It was great to see it. Todd Barry, it was great to fucking see him, one of my favorites. And anyway, I took this fucking dump at about 10 in the morning, right? And, this is a nice hotel. They got those porcelain tubs. But when I shot, it just went bang, and the whole toilet shot, right? Like it rattled. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I look at it. It was just like a 6-incher, but it was heavy. It had some meat to it, like a meatloaf. And it wouldn't flush. Do you know I went back in there like a 4 to pee, and the shit was still on the bottom? And it would refuse to flush. I must have stood there for 10 minutes flushing the toilet. I was so embarrassed. It wouldn't give in.
This was in the front lobby of the hotel?
Yeah. And it didn't smell. It was just, a fucking missile in there. It looked like a Zeppelin in the toilet. It looked like a Zeppelin. That's what it looked like. And then finally, after like 20 minutes of flushing, it finally just, I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I left a little piece of nicotine gum to let them know it was daddy. You know what I'm saying?
That's your calling card, the nicotine gum bandit. You're just fucking
everywhere I hang out. Like if I go to jiu-jitsu, I look at the parking lot and there's all yellow gum. If I go to my gym, there's 20 yellow gums. That's the mark of the Cuban, the nicotine gum.
Jesus. And then I want to talk about you leaving, you not shitting in your room. Will you leave your room to go shit in the lobby? Like if you know it's going to be bad?
Well, you're downstairs already. Nobody goes to those bathrooms downstairs, just chubby professionals like myself that know about that hidden gem. I love hotel rooms, but there's two things I hate about hotel rooms. Going to the bathroom in a hotel room and eating in a room.
Okay.
I really don't like eating in a room. I don't like people in my room. I don't know who I hate worse in my room, guys or girls.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather not have
I don't
anybody.
want anyone in my room.
When we do Vegas, it's a suite. So I would have everybody come up. You know, we would order room service and smoke weed. But
Well, yeah, you have a living room.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
No,
Okay, that was a cool room.
It was, but it was a pretty great weekend. I'm really proud of Redman. He put something nice together down there.
Oh, nice.
And it was a nice club. I mean, it was packed. You know, I just didn't do well. I was clunky that night. I was still fucking high as fuck. I was high for about 7 hours.
Jesus.
Heavy, like those heavy 7 hours where you're like, oh, I had to question myself. When I would walk, I'd huff and puff from the anxiety. I was high.
How did you feel? How do you feel going on stage high now? Is it any different?
No, I didn't go on. That was the only night I went on stage on the edible. I didn't bring any other ones with me.
Right, no, but I'm
like, I don't want to fuck around yet. I got to get comfortable.
No.
I do a couple of hits with a joint. I didn't drink down there at all. You know, I really fucked it up. I didn't do acid this time. The acid was there waiting for me. There was mushrooms. I didn't do anything. I really wanted to focus on these sets.
And how did they go?
It took me 4 months to turn a page. I finally knew what was going on with me, why I was clunky, and it was very interesting. But the reason I called you last night was to talk to you about that scene. There was 1, 2, 3, there were 4, I knew a lot of comics, but there were 4 young comics that I had known in the comedy store in LA. And I watched them perform, They improved so fucking much. Hassan, the top with the fucking beard.
Hassan Ahmad, I think Hassan, I'm mispronouncing his last name. He has a podcast with Derek Poston. Yeah.
Just unbelievable. Opening up the room every night, confident. You see it and it inspires you. You're like, holy fuck, when I go up there, I can't be fucking around. And what came back into my comedy was the humanity factor. Since I only had 15 minutes, I was going up there trying to be fucking Rodney, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. You got to slow them down a little bit, talk to them, let them know what's going on in your world, and then attack from there, piece them from there. It's like, so I figured that out after 4 months. It took me 4 or 5 months. But again, I'm not working 7 nights a week. If I would have been doing this, but a second month, I would have figured it out, So it was enjoyable. I had a fucking great time, and I can't ask for anything else, man. At 61 years old, this is exactly what I want to do. And if that's where I'm going to do the residency next year, like in September, so be it. What can I do?
How do you feel compared to when you started? How do you feel about just the fact that you're doing it?
In January, when I started back up in January and started doing, I know who I am now and I know my place. I know I don't, listen, I had to find a happy medium like you always do in life. Just because I had a family didn't mean I had to quit comedy. Didn't mean it made me stop being a comic. Do you know what I'm saying? And in my mind for a while, I was like, you know what? I want to settle down. I read a lot of Led Zeppelin books. And when Robert Plant, when he lost his son, and after a long tour, they would just not talk to each other for a year or 8 months. So that was the first time I had done that. I know for a fact, Lee, I can't handle the plane rides. right now. Work myself up to it, and go to my favorite places, but that's way down the line. That's way down the line right now. Right now, I just want to get my feet under me. I think after the pandemic, a lot of comics went right back from the pandemic to make money and stuff. And a lot of comics didn't have new material. They just went with it. And I think since the pandemic, I don't know, I think that we rushed back. I thought that comics would go back into comedy clubs for 6 months and work on their craft. They went right back to theaters and stadiums. It was like nothing happened. So, I'm what's that word? I'm pretty much anchored. I know how I want to work this. I'm not sweating this at all. I'm not sweating this at all. I don't give a fuck what happens on stage. I'm going to be funny and I'm going to have a good time. And that's it. That's basically it.
And are you having a good? Seems like you're having a good time.
Yeah, I had a really good time this weekend. And to be honest with you, I had a better time in the little room.
Oh, okay.
The little room really sucks the comedy out of you. It's small. It's really fucking developmental room. And I told Joe and a couple guys, I go, all I need is 2 weeks in this motherfucker. 2 weeks, 2 minutes a night. I tape it. I got 45, 40.
You think you would get 40 minutes in 2 weeks?
Out of that room. Yeah, because you go up there with no expectations. You don't even write the joke. You just write the premise and go up there with the premise and put it to yourself. Who gives a fuck? That's the discipline, And guess what? Those people that came on Monday saw that joke bomb. They giggled, but I didn't really get it. By Wednesday, if they come back, it's got life to it. If they come back the following Wednesday, it's almost complete. It may not be tied into something correctly, but I took down a bit. Do you know what I'm saying? I took down a bit I wanted to try this week. As usual, I pulled the Joey Diaz. I left my notebook on the desk.
Oh, you didn't bring it? Oh, no.
So I had to dip into the computer, and I'm not good with the typing jokes. It's just not me. I started writing them, and I remember them more if I fucking write them. I'm not going to say I can't write on the computer, but I didn't have my notebook. I didn't have my thoughts. Right. I thought of one topic I really wanted to dive into. And again, I didn't dive into it in the big room, but in the little room, it just popped up into my mind. I go, let's rock it. And I think I got 3 minutes out of the bit, and I taped it, and when I got home today after my nap, I fucking wrote it down. That was it.
That's good. For everyone out there listening, to do 40 minutes in 2 weeks. I know you're just talking, but like, even if it was 30 minutes in 2 weeks, is outrageous.
What I'm saying is, I would come up with 35 minutes in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which would spawn into 45 in another week or so, 2 weeks. Because of the way this room, it's like the ice house. When we went to the ice house together, I didn't do jokes you heard before. We just ran on tangents. And those were the best nights we ever had. There was no pressure. They paid $20. They paid $20. $20. And I didn't give a fuck. Remember, I did New Year's in there.
You did
90 because it's a flowing room. When you're in those rooms, who gives a fuck about the money? You're getting thousands of dollars flowing from your head, which you never get before. And those are the rooms that you go up. They're a good audience. You know they're going to be good. But you're going to take a bullet and you're going to go up there and just say the premises. Fucking the Jews bombed Iran. Palestinians got a breather for a while. You know what I'm saying? The Palestinians will be able to eat again. Just little things that come into your mind.
Right.
And that's the beauty of this thing. I can't, after this weekend, I'm like, I was laying there Thursday night on the fucking edible juice in bed, and I'm like, I don't know if I ever get dementia. Because this makes you think. People think like I'm quiet and shit. I'm fucking thinking. When I'm at that club, listen, I don't want to get into a conversation with you. Like a deep, keep it light. How you doing? Good. How you feel? Great. How's your wife? Tremendous. Move on. Because I'm watching,
yeah,
listening, and I'm thinking. which is very rare. But I'm not talking.
No, you're pretty quiet.
I'm not talking. There's no reason to talk. If I talk, I'm taking away from the energy from the crowd. I don't even get mad anymore before I go on stage. Like I was thinking about that. I don't throw tantrums no more. I don't call people names and shit. I don't yell at fucking Joe in the green room and fucking walk out yelling. He gets so happy when I fucking yell at people. You motherfuckers. I'm trying to focus on the set. You motherfuckers are talking about carrots or fighting. I'll fucking kill you. And people are like, what the fuck is up with him? And they don't know that as I walk out, after I call them all cocksuckers, I'm giggling because at least I got my thinking up and I got fired up. When I come back, they're like, we knew what you were doing, motherfucker. You insulted us. Just get funny up there.
Would you go from like zero, like silent, to just screaming at people about like whatever they were talking about?
I would just sit there and listen to you talk stupidity for 35 minutes while I'm trying to focus on a fucking joke. And all I hear about is whatever topic you're beating the bones. And yeah, I want to go to the Netflix is a festival thing. I believe, listen, just be funny. That's it. It's 20 minutes of fucking, how did you feel when you shut the fuck up? How did I feel? I was just happy to be alive. I was on stage and they were laughing. How do you think I fucking felt? Like fucking Madonna with a knee brace on? I felt fucking great.
And it's crazy, like you say, like it reminds you of the stage 2 at the old Ice House. And I'm sure it's great now, but those Wednesdays, because we did them for years, like off and on, but like must have done at least
twice a month. Twice a month. I did maybe 2 New Years in there. I don't like big New Years.
No, but those
shows, people a New Year's fucking show, expecting a fucking bottle of shitty champagne and some fucking party favors. So it has the right for the club to charge you $200 because you're gonna spend that shit like this. Are you fucking retarded? Listen, just give me the small 25. We'll start the show at 7:30. I'll get you out by 9:30. You'll be at the coke dealer's house by 10. Headed to a party by 10:30. And you had a good time. You giggled. The girl giggled. I love that shit. But a big production, I'm gonna do a countdown with my Dick Clark. Get the fuck out of here. I'm terrified. I don't even like the fucking countdown. Those are New Year's up there. And people dug them. 7:30. 7:30. Let you out into the fucking horizon. Let's take a picture. You have a cocktail, and you could either go home, make a reservation to eat. I loved all that shit. I'd hate that second show.
On New Year's? You didn't do second shows at the Ice House.
What happened?
You didn't, at least in the small room, you didn't really do second shows. There was one show a night, and I'll put those shows up against any kind and I've seen you at all over the country. I've like the store you were always great at, but that room in particular, because there were 2 rows. There was a table row, I think maybe 2 table rows, and then the back area where they were against the wall. So it was 3 rows of people with 80 people in a tiny space. And it was just I don't think I've ever laughed harder than those nights. Those were great shows.
People have no idea. As a young comic, everybody wants to strive to the arena and shit. But if you do comedy and you consider the audiences, listen, man, I grew up on listening to albums that had 200 people in the audience. They would tape at a fucking restaurant. You could hear the Forks. Listen to an old Pryor album. Listen to an old Red Fox album. Listen to an old the white dude. Not the
Lenny Bruce?
No. Even Lenny Bruce. You would hear people eating and drinking, and you could hear the cigarette smoke, and you could hear the cigarette smoke. That's how thick it is. If there was 150 people in the room, 180 was smoking. You know what I'm saying? 30 women probably pregnant, and they were fucking smoking. They didn't give a fuck. But yeah, I grew up on that. So that's what I really admired. Just walking into a restaurant, people have their dinner. It's like one of those clubs from Goodfellas, that Club Bamboo, where they used to hang out with the lamps.
Right.
Go up there, very professional, not looking like a bum. You know what I'm saying? You put a nice shirt on, a jacket, whatever. You do 45 minutes. You could take them wherever the fuck you want. That's why Richard Pryor and those guys were so dirty on those. You could take them wherever the fuck you want. And the people have a good time. You have a good time, and on top of that, you look at your tape recorder and go, "There's 4 fucking new jokes on there."
That's crazy. Like you said, 'cause I had a show like that this week too. It was like
How was Thursday night?
it was one of the best shows I've ever had. Like, because I've only done 50. I think this was my 4th time. So, and so, like, it's basically every joke that I've ever written that I like. Not exactly, but close. And it was the first time, not saying I like killed, but it was the first time, like, I didn't really have like a lull in like the 50. Like, I kept the jokes flowed. I did them in a good order. I interacted with them a little bit. I wrote some jokes about the city first. Someone walked in and I talked to her for a minute. And like, it was probably the best, like, quote unquote headlining set that I've ever done. It's not, it was a brewery, like an hour and a half outside of Worcester, which means it's almost 3 hours outside of Boston. So it was in a great area, but it just was super cool for me to be able to do that.
You know, you stretch from time to time is good for the soul. But, you know, like, again, like I said, everybody wants to be a fucking headliner.
Oh, no.
So you go for those 20, 30. Right now you did 50. You know you could do 50. You don't want to put yourself in a predicament of doing 4 of those because you know you're going to go 2 for 2. And those clubs on Friday late shows, they're fucking hell. And Saturday late shows, when you're starting out, they're hell. And then you don't know how to control the early show because they're too conservative. So it's a very tricky. That's why I'd rather you learn that doing 20 and 25 because you don't know. You're doing 2 for 2. And if you bomb the food show Friday, you feel fucking terrible.
Oh, I'm not. I think, honestly.
And you fucking go, what am I going to do Friday night late? And then you know, like I told you see me eat a bag of dicks for 4 shows. Then the late show Saturday, I went off. I finally figured it out in Cobb's. You know, we've been there for all those experimentations. So that's what's good about it, man. But it's fucking Passover. I hope these motherfuckers don't start no problems and shit. I hope I don't have to go into the fallout shelter this week.
Oh, Jesus.
They were talking about it on Sunday, you know, that fucking on World News Tonight. I was watching the fucking Dallas game. And all of a sudden I went into World News Tonight, and that was the first story. I only watched the first 2 stories. And then I got anxiety. You know what I'm saying? What do I give a fuck about, you know?
No, you don't need that in your life.
But Austin was pretty neat. I figured out why. Listen, the comedy scene down there, it's a great scene to develop. It really is. And I forgot they do a couple festivals down there every year. So it makes everybody puts you up somewhere. You know, it's like the Netflix special. They're doing a couple shows in a church. They don't give a fuck. And it was pretty interesting to see the city has grown. A lot of homeless, you know. But I like what they do on 6th Street. You know, I don't know how long it is, but they close it off. And you can walk in the streets. You could, you know, they have tacos. They have all this shit. You're watching bands. You're watching, you know, balcony parties. And at least the city keeps you contained. If there's a problem in the city, 62% it'll be down there. And there's so many cops on every block and cars and shit, they'll contain it, you know. I like that. I couldn't believe how close it was from the Mothership to the Sunset Strip to the Moody Theater to Anton's where they were doing the Moon Tower parties. I mean, it was really, I get it. You know, it's a great place if you want to do comedy. And you're not, if you're going down there to get into the Mothership and think your life's going to change, that's not the attitude. That's not the attitude, because then you're going to be, there's so many young comics trying to get in there. And I don't have to tell you what that's like. So you back off, you wait for the fucking cloud and then you go in there when you have the right time. But there's just, you know, that's it. They have a ton of clubs, which everybody speaks well of. But you could tell that it's like anything else. In LA, everybody wants the Comedy Store. People will give their arm to be at the fucking Comedy Store, you know, and for some people it's a reality, and for some people they'll be, like Ari, he auditioned 18 times.
And do you think Austin would be a good place to go for like a newer comic, or do you think you need to be like in LA and New York that you have to be kind of seasoned before you go to Austin?
I think it all depends on what you want to do and where you look at yourself as a comic. If you were like me, when I had 3 minutes, it's not the place for me to go. I was not good to go down there. I would have got laughed out of that town in 3 weeks. You should have 15, 20 minutes. You should always be writing. By the time you get to Austin, you're not a professional comic yet because you're not making a living. What you are is up and rising. You're writing every day. You've found yourself a job that'll put enough money on the table so you can survive and pay your bills in Austin. You got a chance to do, if you want to do comedy. Those people, I really want to get down there, but I don't have my wife. Listen, you don't want to do comedy. Knock it off. But like me in 91 to 95, no wife, no responsibility, no kids, no nothing. What do? You get on stage every fucking night. 2 shows a night. Bah, bah, bah. And all of a sudden somebody will go, hey, come here every night and open up the 8 o'clock show. Whoa. Yeah. There you go. A little step becomes a big step. I'm here opening up every night, doing 15 fucking minutes. Before the show gets started, before the night gets started, I got a set every night that pays me $25. That's $125 a week. Yeah. Already I'm rocking and rolling. Now, next month, I'm going to make $135 a week somewhere. And then you look at it money, you can look at it from, this is how funny I want to be, or you can look at it in time. I want to do that when I have my 30 minutes. I want to do that when I have my 45 minutes. So it's pretty interesting. Those are the comics that go there and they're already working it. Like they're working it. They're not making, it's like seeing Stanhope in 91, 93. He had done the evening at the Improv.
Okay.
Started when I first met him, he was featuring. The second time I saw him, he was headlining. And I could tell that was it. He was in the rotation. Was he ready to go to Hollywood? Not at all. But he was headlining triple runs and he was on the rotation. Boom. What that means is he drinks, he gets up, he writes, he drinks coffee, he smokes cigarettes, and he gets on stage at 8 and just destroys the audience. And he does it every night without hesitation. Lived in his car, had a big hanger in the back where you would hang your clothes and slide it over. He had committed to who he was. And for a guy like me, it was fucking inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can live in this car. I'll fucking live in my car. If it means for me to make money and save on rent and not have to pay for a hotel, I don't give a fuck.
Damn,
I'll take the $55 they give me for the hotel, stay in the car, sleep outside the hotel, and go in there at 8 and take a shower and swim in the pool. I'm going to be a little, my back's going to hurt from sleeping in the car. But this is what you need to do. Whether you want to snort coke or sleep. I'd rather snort coke and jerk off in the car and look out the fucking door with, whatever. I mean, but you're out there.
Yeah,
You're on that thing. You're just writing, performing, meeting, crashing at people's houses, But to do that, you can't be calling home every day and going, hey, honey, I'm in Iowa. It's working.
You don't think so?
Damn.
It must be rough. Like I see like people living in their car and doing all that shit. I really do love comedy. Living in my car is that I don't know. I don't like. Could you have done that at 35?
I did it
at 35. Wow, fuck.
Remember, I got into comedy at 28. By 95, I was 32. In 98, 99 LA, what was I? 37. And I was sleeping in my car outside Josh Wolf's apartment. But I was at the store. I was at the store. I had a place to take 2 hours a day. I could take a shower at the comedy store at 9 and take a shower at Josh's at 6 or Ralphie Mays. We had a community. Just because you had an apartment didn't mean you were rocking and rolling. You needed something, and I could help you, and you could help me. And when I look at that point in my comedy career, I talked about it in the book, how, dog, we had a big support, and it was funny. They knew I took buses to gigs, and they would make fun of me. You know, what time is your bus? You know, I mean, it was, but everybody helped somebody give me a ride to the bus.
That's great. And hey, like, not all of them, but it seems like most of your good friends from today come from that time in comedy.
Well, you know, Josh Wolf, Ralphie May, rest in peace. You know, Doug Stanhope was a big inspiration to me then. We lived in a 4-block radius. You couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So when you were walking, you were dropping in people. I would drop in fucking Ralphie's, bother him for an hour, smoke his weed, then go over to Josh Wolf, try to steal a turkey burger from him. You know, and then there was somebody on the other block, I forget who the fuck that was. Well, Mitch Hedberg was there, but I only played tennis with Mitch down at Gorky Park. I never really hung out with Mitch and Nick DiPaolo. They lived in that building across from where Ralphie, was it? No, the other one, Sierra Bonita. But it was a community. People weren't laughing at you because you lived in your car. They kind of looked at you and said, what the fuck was up with this guy?
And do you see that happening in Austin now? Not people living in their cars, but like the group of comics that's there.
Lived in that car. Brian Simpson was living in his car. He just has a Netflix special on Netflix. Hans Kim was living in his car when they went down there. And not in a fucking Range Rover or a Testarossa. They were living in a fucking, you know, Tempo that their grandmother gave them. You know, they just, guys, it's just the weirdest thing where you put everything else behind you. People will never know that feeling. It's a feeling that, it's a lonely feeling, but at the same time, you become invincible for having that power to do that. Like, I don't give a fuck about society. It's got nothing to do with what I'm doing. I do not have a wife. I do not have a child. My mother's dead. My father's in a nursing home with dementia. You don't even know who I am. Every time he sees me, he calls me Chico. You know, it's fucking, you know. So what do? You tell me you want to be a comic. Yes.
Right.
I can't wait. You know, okay, well, this is your opportunity. Yeah, but my friends, I'm going to miss them. Your friends will understand that you're going for your dream. Don't come back here in 10 years, a loser, and then tell your friends what happened. If you do that commitment, you're not going to come back here a loser. You're going to come back here a fucking winner. You know, when you have the ability to give everything up. I mean, I was at the point I gave my health up. My health.
Right.
I didn't give a fuck about my health. I didn't give a fuck about lifting weights. All I gave a fuck was about moving from the 1 o'clock spot to the 12:30 spot at the store and what I needed to do. I had no agents. Nobody wanted to rep me. Montreal, all those people didn't want to talk to me. So I had one job to do, and that was to move from 1 a.m. to 12:30 at the store. And then from 12:30 to follow the 12 o'clock spot at 12:15, which was Paul Mooney. And then now on a Friday, she puts you up at 10:45. Don't get too excited. It's not going to be forever. But you follow me, those are the little successes that you have to look at. And it's your mindset. You know, it really the mindset that you have. Just because people aren't knocking on your door doesn't mean you're failing. It means that you need to fucking turn up the heat. You want people to knock on your door? Turn up the fucking heat. It's all in your mind, you know. Real quick, let me take a breather. Speaking of your mind, I want to talk to you about BetterHelp. We'll be back in 30, 60 seconds. I don't know. Take your time. All right, you savages, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Listen, the summer's coming. If you're pouring everything you got into work and exhausted by the afternoon, it's time to make a change. Trust me when I'm telling you, I had to make a change. BetterHelp's online therapy is incredible. Get matched with one of their licensed therapists and learn what you like to do, what and who makes you happy, and how to set boundaries so you can live your best life. Listen, that's what they did with me. I was just telling Lee I had some problems. I needed to know, I didn't like the anxiety. I didn't like waking up in the middle of the night thinking about stuff. She coached me. She spoke to me. I sat with them for like 8-9 months. And here we are today, tip-top Magoo. So do yourself a favor. With BetterHelp, everything is done online. No driving to the office or sitting on the couch, looking at some great couch. You could do therapy from the privacy of your own home where you're relaxed and you feel more open. You understand me? It's great from the house. You don't have to drive nowhere. You're not there stressed out. And you actually get time to focus on what needs to get help. You don't have to talk about your day and how you cut off some guy. And, no. So just take a short quiz and BetterHelp will connect you with one of their tremendous licensed therapists. If you're not happy with your therapist, you could switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. But trust me, once you find the one that works for you, listen, BetterHelp will take you to the next level. So do yourself a favor. Learn to make time for what makes you happy. Forget everybody else that needs you. With BetterHelp, you're going to learn what makes you happy. So visit BetterHelp.com/Diaz, D-I-A-Z, today, right now, to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Diaz. Listen, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. They did miracles with me, so give online therapy a try at BetterHelp.com/DIAZ and get on your way to being the best version of yourself. Trust me, here I am 4 years later, and I'm flying through the air like Joey, whatever. Anyway, back to the show. Stay black. I love you. We're back, bitches. If you're having problems, go on to BetterHelp. They'll help you out. I had problems when I moved here. BetterHelp helped me out, and they gave me some exercises to work with. And guys, here we are. But it is what it is. But yeah, listen, commitment in anything. It makes me sick when somebody tells me they want to do something, and 4 weeks later you bump into them and they got a fucking sob story. It makes you fucking sick to your stomach. And eventually it makes people sick to their stomach to the point where they won't go up or they'll move with. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of fucking weird, the balance you have to have. So whatever, whether you're an artist, whether you're a fucking, a contractor and you want to be in like customizing cabinets and all that shit, you don't get good customizing cabinets by reading about it. No. You don't get good from watching shows. You get good by installing them, fucking them up, costing yourself money, putting a hole in the wall because you didn't measure it right, painting it the wrong color. After 3 or 4 years of that, you're either going to quit or you elevate. You become this fucking, when I remember when I was roofing in 1991, my brother-in-laws were fucking geniuses. They had been roofing since they were kids, and now they were in their 30s. And I would go on the roof with them and see what they did, like the pipes and shit, and my heart would stop. Like, how good are these guys at what they did? They didn't get that good by taking classes. They got that good by being on a roof every fucking day for 10 years.
And I had some work done at my place, and I was talking to this old wood guy. I'm carpenter, and he was talking about at the beginning when like he was starting, and they had him clean up and do like hard stuff like that for like a couple of years, and he was talking to his owner years later about like what he looks for in someone who like to like know that you're ready to do something, even if you feel like you're ready. He said like the people who were too eager to like, let me show you what I can do, it took them longer to go in. He said the people who would like ask him questions and like weren't always like the most certain right away moved along a little faster.
It's really weird how it works, man. It's like I see it in jiu-jitsu. The guys that come in and fucking gung-ho and they're at every class, and all of a sudden you don't see them anymore. What happened? They broke their fucking clavicle. They wanted to come in here and wrestle these fucking gorillas, and they weren't ready. And then do they come back?
Right.
But then you get the guy that comes in twice a week and very unassuming, non-athletic. Non-athletic. Never fucking lifted a weight. He only played ping pong. That's it. Non-athletic. And he comes in there, and that's why jiu-jitsu's for nerds. That's why jiu-jitsu will always throw you off, because I see muscle guys for years, and all of a sudden there's this guy, he takes his glasses off, he's got computer fingers, he still has his pen carrier and his fucking shirt. This guy's choking motherfuckers. He's technical. The other guy's using his strength. Who's going to last longer? The guy that's technical. The guy that has it down. And how do you get technical? By fucking showing up, But, a lot of shit's been happening in the news. Anything stick out for you?
Oh, dude, I saw something, and I don't know. I saw this thing from New Mexico where they arrested this guy, and the cop was on horseback, and he was trying to get the guy to stop. This guy had just stole like a couple $100 worth of stuff from Walgreens, and the cop was going at him. Like, did you ever get stopped by like a cop on a bike? Like, this guy wouldn't stop for like 5 minutes.
A cop on a bike or a horse?
Horse. The guy in New Mexico was on a horse.
You get stopped by a guy on a horse. It's like, just shoot yourself right there. Ask him to give you your gun. Give me the gun. I just got busted on a fucking horse. I think the best story of the week was the guy that left Florida, drove to New York, and lit himself on fire in front of the Trump trial. That is Jesus. Brilliant that you get in a car and go, you know what? I'm driving 18 hours to go light myself on fire here. This is going to be perfect. Guy took no edibles. He didn't take anything. He didn't leave a note to Ali Asbar. He didn't leave a note to fucking nobody. He just went up in front of the courthouse and lit himself on fire. He just died 2 days ago. Rest in peace. I feel bad for him, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Not really. You're going to fucking drive 18 hours to light yourself on fire, you goofy fuck. What were you thinking? You know what? I'm going to tame it down a little bit. Maybe I'll just light a fire instead of turning myself on fire. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll just get some newspapers and throw some gas on it and light them on fire and throw a yarmulke in there so they'll blame it on some crazy Jew guy and run away. Not this fucking guy. He went there and lit himself on fire. And I'm like, does mental health, should he have contacted BetterHelp? See, that guy never listened to the podcast. If he would have contacted BetterHelp, he wouldn't have had these fucking problems. But no, he just didn't get advice from anybody. You call BetterHelp and you go, listen, I'm thinking of driving up to New York City from whatever hellhole in Florida I live in to light myself on fire. They'll really help you. That's what BetterHelp fucking shines. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy when you drive. I forget how, but I think it was to Florida, like to or from Florida. This like astronaut drove. She like wore a diaper, and then she went to go kill like her ex-husband's, or maybe she kidnapped somebody. This was like from 10 or 20 years ago. Do you remember this? This like it was an astronaut, like a lady drove for like 20 hours.
Not really. Last astronaut I remember blew up in a fucking rocket ship thinking she was going to go to the moon in '86.
That was from here. They have a thing there. Andy, can you look that up? I'm almost positive that like she drove like 20, like she wore a diaper. She didn't want to stop once. She stopped for gas. It was fucking crazy.
A diaper.
I can't. Yeah.
You know what? That she's thinking with a clear head. I can't be mad at her. That's what I should do when I go up north. Put a diaper on so I don't have to stop every 5 minutes and piss in the bottle. Make believe I got a flat and put the hazards on them over there pissing, fucking hiding from satellites out there where they killed fucking that guy from The Godfather in the swamps. I pass that place all the time and I got to pee and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Jesus.
You get mad. Do you ever do anything to like the gas stations that don't let you pee? I hate when they don't let you go into the bathroom.
I don't ask them. Why would you ask somebody to let you go pee? I'll go to the back and make believe I'm on the phone, take my dick out, pop it right there, close the door so the pee particles don't go into the car. I'll sit real close and I'll sit on the fucking thing and put my dick crooked and pee and then avoid my foot, make like a sweeping turnaround so it doesn't hit my foot. And I get back in the car. I don't ask no. Listen, if I don't have to walk into a gas station, I won't. I just make sure I'm not 500 feet from a school because next thing you know, I got to go to a post office and fill out paperwork because I was taking a pee.
Yeah.
That scares the shit out of me that I'm going to be taking a pee one day and cops going to pull up and all of a sudden I got to register as a fucking sex offender because my dick was out, in the back of a fucking supermarket. The funniest thing happened the other day on a flight. The guy next to me was the biggest, blackest dude I ever saw. It was just me and him.
Okay.
And he's sitting next to me, and we both passed out on the flight back from Austin. I fucking didn't sleep that night, so I just passed out on the plane. And I woke up, and about 10 minutes later, he wakes up. I'm sitting there like fucking wiped out. And he goes, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And I go, "Fuck, I got to get up." And I had been sitting since the plane took off. So I was tight, He comes back, I go pee, I come back, I sit down, all of a sudden a little steward guy comes over and he's like, "You guys hungry?" And he goes, "Yeah, what do you got?" And the guy goes, "We got waffles left. They might be a little soggy." He goes, "What do they got on the waffles?" And he goes, "Raspberry and a little bit of marshmallow." He goes, "I don't do marshmallows." So I asked him, I go, "You don't do marshmallows? What's the problem?" And he goes, "I'm Muslim. They got pork in them."
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't eat Jell-O either. They have that silicone, that pig lining, whatever. I don't know. I read about it like 20 years ago. I forgot all about it. When I was in Camp George West, a lot of the guys couldn't eat that either. And I would go, "Why not?" And they go, "Well, Muslim." But it was pretty interesting. I forgot. And then
I feel like that.
What?
That's like the quickest you've made a friend in years. Just a guy saying, "I don't do marshmallows."
I don't do
You must
marshmallows.
have loved him immediately.
Right away, I was like, "Oh, shit." And I'm right when she left, I go, "What's the problem with marshmallows?"
Oh, fuck. I was going to ask you that. Did you, have you ever on the road, had a chef ever, done anything cool? Do you have any, cool food stories from being on the road?
Man, the reason why comics like the road, especially in the beginning, I wasn't, it's like I was talking to you about staying local. Stay local. Mm-hmm. Run your local first. You don't want to be a man without a fucking flag. It's not going to work. Eventually, you're going to have to do this, so do it now.
Right.
But I was doing triple runs. And it's not like you're going to Austin or you're going to Dallas. You're going to towns where they have one movie theater.
If that.
And when you're there, you're a fucking celebrity. There's 200 people at the show and you don't have a credit.
Right. Because they come every week.
Yeah, they come every week, So the people I met on the road, that first year, it was amazing. It was really amazing. The people you bump into and they're like, "Hey, what are you going to do tonight?" Was I telling you about driving 14 hours to do a showcase? I didn't have enough money. And my friend had to lend me a car from National Rent-A-Car and give it to him. At the time, I was working for National Car Washer. And my other buddy lent me $200. And I remember I was going down there to sleep in my car. I left a Thursday night, and I got down there a fucking Friday afternoon, tired. Excuse me, I slept 6 hours in the car. And I get to the show that night. I got to take a little Puerto Rican shower in the sink in the back, and put mousse in my hair. And I went up there and I did okay. And then the second show I did okay. And I started talking to one of the guys. He goes, "You sound like my uncle from New York City." And we started talking. And at the end of the night, they're like, "What are you going to do?" And you're like, "I don't know." You try not to tell them that you don't have a place to stay,
Right.
Like, "I don't know, and they're like, I might go get a hotel." And they're like, No. We got a basement. Come on over. Comics come over all the time and sleep. You smoke pot. And then tomorrow we'll go fishing. And then tomorrow night we'll come do the show. And you're like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
First couple times that happened, you do sleep with one eye open.
Right.
What the fuck is this? But then you're like, okay, this is the road. And something good always happens. No matter what happens that's bad, something good will always happen. You could hit a deer and ruin your car, but on the way back, the tow truck driver's got a house and his mom is cooking, and you're like, wow. This guy doesn't know me from Adam.
Do you think that still happens now?
Yes. People are good. People in those small towns are very good, like judges of character. They're all Christian or whatever. And it's just, I still remember like having no dough and being all the way by the Canadian border. And we used to get checks in the mail in those days. It was all out of your pocket. You picked up a little bit of money for gas here. And I remember like this family came to the show and and I was with my friend Jody, and they go, no, check out the hotel at 1. We'll talk. We knew they knew the people at the hotel. Check out at 3 and come over. We're going to cook that fish, pollock, whatever they eat up there. And they did. And here's me and Jody at these people's fucking family celebration, eating fucking paddock, whatever the fuck that fish is. And, and then the guy goes, oh, we need a place to stay. And he goes, I'll call the hotel. They'll give you a room for $20 a night. And we stayed there till Tuesday. Here we were thinking, fuck, we're going to have to sleep in the same room, be uncomfortable with a girl. $20 a night. It was $40 out of our pocket. We stayed there till Tuesday and got out of there Tuesday. It's really good like that. It really teaches you about humanity. And this happens in Boston. If you go to Boston and I'm headlining and I'm from Boston and all of a sudden you're like, I'm good friends with Josh Wolf. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, where you staying tonight? You're like, I don't know. Come over. Come on. My wife's there. I got a basement. Stay downstairs. You can watch TV. We'll smoke dope. And you're like, I just saved $100.
When you're only making $100, yeah.
No, when you only make, like right now, features are not getting a hotel room.
No.
Why are we, that means you lose $1,000 to go out there and prove your point and not get anything in return. I'd rather you, and listen, you need to go out in front of real audiences from time to time to see what you got. To really make adjustments in your game. But if you're not, there's a level that you're just killing yourself to live because you're just making enemies. You're going around the country just bombing, and they don't know what. At least I was keeping my bombs in the Midwest.
Got it. Okay.
I was keeping my bombs in Nebraska and, fucking, where did I bomb a lot? There was one state where I just did like
Iowa?
a bomb tour. Not Iowa, the other one.
Idaho.
Michigan. No, Idaho, I just got arrested.
You did well there.
Huh?
You did well, but you got arrested.
Yeah, there was one state. Nebraska. It was Nebraska.
Okay.
It was Nebraska. Ogallala. I went through because I used to work for this company. That's what they booked. And they co-headlined me. I did like 3 shows and they got all bad reports. I was like 0-3.
Fuck.
And then
Did they fire you?
No, they never fired me. I knew it was embarrassing for me, but I didn't consider myself a co-headliner. They did. My tape wasn't even a long tape. It was like a 20-minute tape. And they're like, you're a co-headline. I go, really? Okay. But he was also like a puppet act, and his wife was the assistant. So once I found that out, I'm like, that's not really good for the ego right there. That a puppet act that's not even a good puppet. It's not like Otto and George was the fucking puppet act. This guy was like a terrible puppet act. You could see his lips move and shit. He had a wig, everything you didn't need as a comic. This motherfucker showed up with.
And he's telling you that you weren't good?
No, he made me a co-headliner. He owned the company. There was a guy named Tribble. Dave Tribble controlled the zone. And then this guy had like the real Midwest, Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota. He had that. And he gave me his real thing was Nebraska. Minnesota. He had the lower end of Minnesota because the lady who had Minnesota then liked me, so I couldn't do Minnesota. She gave me like Marquette College. I was just talking, I forget what this woman was. She was a good lady. Her daughter was her assistant, and she used to book the club in Milwaukee. And the people who ran the club now are the owners of the Comedy Cabana in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, shit. Okay.
When they opened that club, I was there for the 4th of July for Black Biker Week.
How did that go for you?
Yeah. A black biker. No. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't like there was brothers at the comedy show. They're down there to shake their asses on a bike with the sisters with the thongs on the bike, but it was great. And then I became friends with them and I kept going back. I went down there about 8 or 9 times.
And like looking back at it, do you think that the booker who booked you as a co-headliner should you have said, "Let me feature"?
I didn't really know, Lee. At the time, it was 94 and I was doing well. I didn't have a lot of time. I had like maybe 35 and maybe 20 of it was solid. I'm not going to lie to you. And he told me, just do what you can. But I was also doing shows that weren't co-headliners. Like when I got there, they weren't there to inspire you, whatever. I was very low key, so I would go up first.
Okay.
Get out of the way, because I was throwing 50-50. I didn't know what I would do up there. I didn't know if I was going to talk to the audience. It was so unorganized back then for me. But I was organized to the best of my abilities. But because I like to riff, it wasn't working. And by coming to New York, I started talking to the audience, which is the worst fucking habit you could pick up, because once you start going to the really good markets, you can't do that shit.
Right, you can't talk, especially in like the middle of nowhere. But like what I was saying is like looking at like now, let's say I got offered that, should I just tell them, no, mate, let me feature instead of co-headlining?
No, it's Nebraska. It's the Midwest. Ain't nobody even going to remember your Jew ass when you leave there, whether you do good or bomb. So that's how I looked at it, I think. I was like, well, yeah, it's Nebraska. Nobody's going to see me. It's not like, I'm not saying nothing bad about Nebraska. I'm just saying nobody's going to see me. Nebraska, that's why I always really loved the tribal concept, because it really battle tested you. Like, I'm from New York City, and I was in fucking Idaho and Montana and, all these places that I'm like, I'm not going to do well.
No, you never had, because I'm so jealous of triple runs. I would love to do something like that. And like, so I usually find if it's in the middle of nowhere, like the shows are better. Like those audiences are better to me.
But you'll get there and you're in the middle of this dream. You're a 5th-year comic, you're featuring, and all of a sudden you look at the schedule and you are in Iowa, but you're doing a bowling alley. After a kid's choir goes up on a Thursday night. And you get to that bowling alley and there's no green room. There ain't no pretty girls. It's a chick with an eye patch that's serving you. Same chick that gives you the shoes when you get in there. She's making sandwiches and she's making cocktails. I remember doing The Longest Yard, dog. Here I'm like, fuck. I just came out of a movie with Adam Sandler. I didn't look at the schedule. At that time, I had a small-time booker who said, let's do a trial run of like 6 weeks and we'll reevaluate. Well, after the 6 weeks, I never heard from the guy again, right? I never did. That's how.
Now, the bookers never called you back?
6 shows. The last thing I heard from a booker was a year later when he put me in collection for $200. And I had to fucking send the paperwork that I paid him, and then it went away. He took it off the judgment. I never heard from that guy again. I never owed him the $200. He just never got it or some shit. But it was really insane. He put me on like this 6-weeker right after The Longest Yard came out. Atlanta.
Okay.
Chicago. Texas. I was going to Beaumont because I really liked Beaumont, and Slade Ham was down there, who just released a special. I don't know where else I went. There weren't big markets. Like he was like,
what
venues
were you playing?
Well, I never forget that right after The Longest Yard, I went to the week The Longest Yard came out, I went to Houston. and I watched the movie with the Houston Texans that Thursday, early screening, and then Friday we all went to the movies in the morning, and then the movie came out and it was great. And then like 2 weeks later, I went to Chicago, but I didn't look at the schedule. It was Chicago mixed in with Iowa, and that's where the bowling alley was. And I'm like, I just did a fucking movie with Adam Sandler, and I'm in a fucking bowling alley. Fuck, no green room. People are coming up to me 2 at a time. How's Adam Sandler, man? Is he really cool? Do you have his number? You know, just like, and you're like, oh.
Were you at least headlining?
Yeah. I was headlining.
Okay.
That's part. And then I remember going to Atlanta. I'll never forget going to Atlanta. And when I got there, like it was 3 weeks after the movie came out, there was maybe 200 people there. And maybe sat 300. And I remember walking in and people coming up to me. You were great. You were great. I got on stage. I did good for about 10 minutes. I don't know what I was talking about. I went dirty and I lost them. And after the show,
mark?
Huh? Yeah.
At the 10-minute mark, you lost them?
Yeah. And those same people were coming up to me in the beginning, or like, when I walked at the end of the show, I go, hey, and they go like, oh, go away. I was like, okay. It was a tour from death. 14 years into comedy, 15 years, 14 years, and I really wasn't ready to headline. I was not a headliner. Even though I had the material, even though I was a regular at the store, all that shit didn't matter, because you could have the material, but there's just something when the switch goes off that you're a headliner. And I didn't become a headliner till after I met you. Let's be honest. The first couple trips I did, I remember going to Columbus. I didn't do too good in Columbus, dog.
No?
I went back to Columbus for like a year and a half, and I didn't know why. And in the back of my mind, I didn't do good. I did 5 shows. They were like, I sold out 3 of the 5, but and I did that 1 year where I just went to see headliners on Thursday. And I still think about Geraldo and Ralphie. They were the best 2 I saw that year. From the back of the room, nobody knew I was there. And I was like, those are headliners. You know, they have a pace. They know where they're going. At that time, I was very clunky. When the checks were dropped, done.
I haven't even dealt with that yet.
Done. If you think showing your dick on stage and seeing people's reaction, wait till they get the check. And then you're up there fucking throwing heat. And they're like, $86 for chicken strips, you know.
How long did it take you to figure that out?
That's another year. And then you go to people and you go, what the fuck? I'm bombing. After they drop their checks. That's a complete different education. That you're throwing heat for 45 minutes and all of a sudden some lady comes and drops check. And it's Friday night. These people been giggling, and all of a sudden they get the tab. If there's 50 people, if there's 100 people in the audience, 50 people are going to go, okay, we got the money. But the other 50 people, man, mozzarella sticks, $8.95. They weren't even done. And all of a sudden the arguments start, and who's circling items. And now you got to get them. And it's like a mixed audience. You got like 50 people giggling at once, and the other 100 are like arguing about their check. I didn't drink the champagne. He ate the wings. Put it on his tab. You know, you don't know how to handle that shit.
No.
And then after you get established, you could tell the place to drop the checks after you get off. But that's a pain in the ass, because now they got to stop everybody and make sure everybody paid at the end of the show. So that means if you have a 10 o'clock show, that's going to stop me even more. It's going to have to go 10:30 because it takes all those people to check their tabs. You got to give them a receipt to get out.
Right. No, I've been. It is nicer on the show though when they do that.
So what do you got this week, Tarzan? You don't do comedy during Passover? You're like it's
no. I got
Ramadan for Jews. What's the story?
I have 3 shows this week. On Wednesday, I'm at Off the Rails in Worcester. On Friday, I'm at the Comedy Scene in Foxborough, and on Saturday, I'm in Dennis. I'm on Cape Cod on Saturday.
On TikTok.
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
At the Pelham House Resort. Yeah.
What are you doing up there? They have a boat up there, right?
And they might. You know what? I had an interesting. I just this is a group that runs some clubs up here, and they do shows throughout the area. And they offered me this show, and I can't wait. The comedy scene's cool. The comedy scene's where the Patriots play.
Okay,
They have
now
a club up there.
Passover runs from yesterday to next Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Just talk about Passover this week and what it means to you, and the bad food and grandma can put a fin in a fucking. Do you got any money on Passover? Anybody throw you a $20 bill? Or
they kind of do. Not really, but there's a thing with the matzah where like you hide it, and then the person who gets it usually gets some money. There's always a money part to the holiday, but yeah, it's called the afikomen.
You know what's crazy? That matzah, you don't even really want to find that. You're like, ugh.
Well, no, you want to find that one because that one makes money. No, well, kind of. They pass it around.
You gotta eat it, and that's the problem. Like,
but you gotta eat matzah all the time on Passover. It sucks. And all my non-Jewish friends always pretend they like matzah. And for everyone who hasn't had it, it makes a saltine taste like flavorful. Matzah is disgusting.
You don't see me putting Swiss cheese on matchas with some deluxe ham from Boar's Head. Fuck that.
That's what you have to do. That's what your sandwich would be.
And I'll tell you what, just bring some ham and cheese. I would.
You can't have ham on Passover.
They don't know that. You don't know that. Fucking show up with some ham and cheese, make a little fucking masa, a little masa cordon bleu sandwich with some crackers. Nobody knows nothing.
Yes, they do. First of all, you can't mix cheese and meat at all. And then the ham is like, you can't.
Why can't you say it? Who said that you can't mix cheese and ham?
Literally almost every Jew.
So if you don't, let's say you have the Swiss on the right hand and the ham on the left hand, then you you found the loophole.
No, there's no ham at all. No ham, no bacon, no shrimp for good Jews.
Listen, bacon and shrimp I see, but a little ham ain't gonna kill you on fucking Passover. Just a little piece. You know what I'm saying?
I would love to see you argue with that with the rabbi.
Make them spin it nice and thin, so it just folds on the masa. You throw a little fucking cheese on that bitch. Yowza, yowza, yowza.
I would love to see someone have a ham sandwich on Passover.
Oh, I would show up at your house with a ham sandwich. That's the name of your first album, showing up at Passover with a ham sandwich. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, you'd get beat up. That's like, oh my God, that's like almost a hate crime in Judaism.
Really?
No. Well, you can't eat pork. I know that.
Oh, I'll show up with some Chinese spare ribs and thwart them. That's a loophole too. Those Jews, they mean like pork cutlets and, like white meat pork. They didn't say nothing about the fucking,
yes, they did.
No, they don't.
Dude, they have kosher Chinese restaurants. I'll take you next time. They have kosher ones with no pork, no shrimp. How do you think it is?
Listen. Listen. Why are we hypocrites here? Why are the Jews being hypocrites right now? If I showed up at Passover at a Jew house, one of those motherfuckers will break.
Oh my God. All right. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, it's the worst. I can't stand it. And how upset would you be if we went to a kosher? They have a kosher pizza place too, like with like beef pepperoni.
With meatless pepperoni.
Yeah, and beef. I think maybe do it. Actually, if it's really kosher, they probably don't have any real meat toppings.
Listen, all that stuff is great. I believe in the kosher rules and stuff like that. But listen, I could fuck. It's like I could talk a guy into sucking my dick with an 8-ball at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I could talk a Jew into eating a fucking nice spare rib from Freddy's on Passover. That's easy. That's easy. There's gotta be a loophole.
Jews aren't really big on loopholes.
The sauce, there's something. You could just show up and go, guys, I looked in the fucking Quran, whatever. When I went to Israel, I caught some fucking Jews eating Chinese ribs on fucking Passover. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. They were eating fucking ribs, doing Krav Maga at the park. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder which one would take you longer. You think which one would be easier? Jew eating pork or getting a blowjob with an 8-ball?
They're both about the same. I mean, you know, not now. I'm a 60-year-old man, but
no, I know that. And you also don't want a guy to suck your dick.
Oh yeah, I would look at those guys and go, if I had an 8-ball, I could talk him into sucking my dick easy. You know, it's cool. Everybody does it.
Really? I didn't know. I love you, buddy.
I love you too, man. Happy Passover to all the Jews in the struggle. You know I love you. Listen, if you're Jewish, take a chance. Columbus did. If they bomb Iran this week, show up with some ribs at Passover and throw Grandma for a loop. Grandma, put the $10 bill away. I don't even want it. I'm not going to find the matzah, but listen, I want you to try these fucking Chinese spare ribs. I found the loophole, section 8, page 352.
Holy shit. They're going to get some people kicked out of the will.
Nah, dog. And then you know what? It'll spread. You just got to introduce it to the Jews and tell them, listen, it's a different Jew out there. You know, it's a different Jew. The we're different now. Especially, you know. Anyway, I'm high. I don't even know what I'm talking about no more. Thank you for doing it. Happy Passover. And we'll see you savages next week. And now for a word from my motherfucking sponsor, Jack. The check-in is brought to you by, oh my God, Manscaped. Listen up, guys. You don't have to have kids, but you do have to take care of your little boys between the belt, okay? Luckily, Manscaped has what you need. They're ready to take your nuts from the unruly to nice and fucking smooth with the Lawnmower 3.0 Plus, the 4.0, and the 5.0 Ultra. Listen, I love them all. Choose your trimmer. Get grooming. Each version comes with skin-safe technology and LED spotlight in case you want to shave your balls at night in the dark. Unique features for different grooming needs. Find a trimmer that's right for you and go to town. Let me tell you something. Every time I shave my nuts, I lose 10 pounds. That's how much of an afro I got down there. You got to upgrade your ball trimmer and take care of them for life, guys. They're your balls. If you're not going to take care of them now, they're going to spit in your face when you get older. That's why I always Manscape. I put the cream. I do everything. Hey, it's Passover. What do you want from me? Do yourself a favor. Get 20% off and free shipping with code Joey at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping by pressing in code Joey. It's very easy at manscaped.com. Listen, for the best your boys have ever looked, trust Manscaped. I don't even know why they write boys. Balls. We like the word balls. If you use boys or tentacles or anything like that, you got to put a different set of people. So do yourself a favor, support the show, and get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com, code Joey. The check-in is also brought to you by, now that your balls are clean, you got Blue Chew. Listen, you'll get used to it in a flash, but now things are starting to slow down. Turn back the clock with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online service that sends you ED meds right to your door. No stories, no nothing. They got the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. And it's a total win all around for everybody. Your dick will be harder, and you'll be saving money. Who's better than you, okay? Blue Chew is tremendous. You can put it in your wallet, and when you find the victim when the pigeon's on the lake, boom, you pop that thing, and within minutes, you're jumping up and down. You understand me? And getting started is easy. If life is a party, you follow me, and you're going to show up without Blue Chew, what are you doing to yourself? It's Tuesday. Get the party started right. The summer's coming. You want to impregnate. You want to do things. You know what I'm saying? So do yourself a favor. Just sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, your prescription will be at your doorstep, tip-top magoo, Even the mailman will be laughing when he delivers it. Listen, Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. You know how we call it. Chew it and do it, Jack. And we got a special deal for Passover. Ready for this? Try Blue Chew for free. When you press in code Diaz at checkout, just pay a fin for shipping. That's $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code Diaz to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the show. Listen, support the show. Try Blue Chew for the small $5 just for shipping. You're gonna get the party for free.